all wonder what exactly the Women's in Engineering Day it is. Hear about it. It was launched for the first time in the UK on 23rd June 2014 by Women's Engineering Society. Since that launch in 2014, the day has grown enormously over the subsequent years to the point where it received UNESCO patronage in 2016. The campaign, which raises the profile of women in engineering and focuses attention on the amazing career opportunities available to girls in this exciting industry. We, the Srujan Club, focuses on conducting both technical as well as non-technical events. We have Faculty Coordinator Mr. Nikhil Bhalerao Sir, Dean of Student Affairs Mrs. Vaishali Wangikar Ma'am, and Head of all MITAOE Technical Clubs Mrs. Savita Pawar Ma'am. Also, the Srujan team is led by Mr. Prasad Pawar, the President of the club. So let me tell you the glimpse of events organized by our club till date. We have conducted flash mobs, photography competition, Technomela 2019. We also collaborated with other clubs such as Ajan Riksha Club for AV Day, social awareness, COVID-19, digital activity. The theme was We Fight Together. Also conducted online quiz for the students and launched the video on Muskurayega India on our official Srujan Club YouTube channel. Today, to make our event more auspicious, honor to have a prominent speaker and a writer to inspire us through her words. The speaker for today's event is Mrs. Ashwiny Iyer Tiwari. She is an Indian filmmaker and writer. Ma'am has inspired, make us laugh through her movies and stories. Talking about her achievements, Ma'am has won Best Debut Director of Film Nil Battey Sannata in Filmfare Awards in the year 2017. Won Best Director of Film Bareilly ki Barfi in Filmfare Awards in the year 2018. Also, she has won Best Director in Zee Cine Awards. Ashwini ma'am received the Dada Sai Phalke Award for the short film What's for Breakfast in 2012. Apart from that, she is a gold medalist of commercial arts from Sophia Polytechnic, Mumbai. Ma'am has enlightened and inspired many minds through her TED Talk about the hidden powers in every woman. Ashwini ma'am also directed the movie Panga. The story depicts the jovial life of Kabaddi player. The film was released on 24 January 2020. Working in an advertising agency, she has won several awards like Cannes Lions, New York Festival, One Show, Pro Max, and the Goa Fest Awards. Without any further delay, I would like to present the guest of honor. Also, I would like to ask all the participants to drop your questions on the comment box. So after the ma'am session, we are going to have our question and answer session. So be ready with that. Okay.
Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. So hello, everyone. It's kind of a very different feeling to give a talk online, but there's always a first time. So it's scary is because I am very non-technology. I'm actually technology challenged, and the only thing I know how to do really correctly is Photoshop, Illustrator, because of my art background, and also to use Instagram, which I just learned in some time. So when I'm talking to all of you all who I hope are part of the big world of engineering, who I truly admire is because they can do all those things which I cannot, and most importantly, they can talk physics and math. So, and also chemistry sometimes. So welcome to all the engineers out here who may be in students or they're already engineers, but you inspire me a lot every day, all of you all, because I feel that people who can create, like I create films, I also feel that people who can create designs for empowerment have a huge respect in my eyes. I have not made a big speech here. It's because I just want to talk to you all like a friend today. And for me, it is about, at this point of time, 2020, which has been you say learning, or we say that it's a inspiring year for all of us, is because in every kind of adversity we learn something new. There may be many pass outs this year who may be thinking what their future looks like, and there may be many women in engineering, because we're talking about engineering today, thinking about their course of life, or what they are going to be doing in terms of their careers. For me, first of all, to take up engineering and also to be a part of science is a huge decision in itself. Is because as women, all our lives we have been told that different kinds of toys. One is the Barbie dolls, and the other is the construction Legos. Every time you see an ad for Lego or anything which is related to construction, there would be a boy attached to it, and every time it was pink color, and it was colors and those Barbie dolls, and anything which was flowery was for girls. So right from the beginning, as a society, we have always been led into this whole idea that pink is for girls, blue is for boys, bridges are for boys, and utensils are for girls. So, but if we had to turn this around, and I was reading an article of in V Forum, where it said that we need more engineers, we need more women in STEM by the year 2030. And it was kind of very astonishing for me, is because I thought there were a whole lot of engineers out there, and it was in filmmaking where there were very less women, but it's the case everywhere. And then I did a little more research, and it came across that women take up engineering as a course, but then they get on to more of the desk job, the more of the thinking and the execution way of part of engineering, and more of the hardcore construction or designing or thinking aspects of engineering is usually taken up by boys. Also, one point which I found out was that every time there is something which is more of a group work, which usually happens because there's a lot of teams which are required when you're doing in any kind of design for any project. The women take the lead of getting stuff, and the men take the lead of joining the stuff. So from where did all this come? And why it should come also? It is maybe because we as women think that this is how it's going to be. So even if you are taking up engineering, you may not take the hardcore side of it, and may say that let's be more lenient towards it. I have created 5 points here today, and I just want you all to brood over some of these points. I've written them down. I have a pen and a paper. I believe a lot in writing my thoughts and also looking at my source of journey. So my first point is trust. It is basically you are point A and you're point B too. For me, trust is very important, that how much you trust yourself in terms of whatever job you do. And in this case, it is taking up on engineering. The trust is very important for me, is because this is something which I heard from Mrs. Sudhamurthy, is that she was one of the foremost engineers in our country. And at that point of time, when there was a job opportunity in Pune for being on ground, she was said that no women are allowed, in spite of doing engineering and in spite of being amazing at what she had done. So where did that come from? But because of her trust and because of trusting herself that she could write that letter to Mr. Tata, she got to go to Pune and she got to learn there, and she got to redefine the whole system of trust. For me, that word trust of joining A to B is very important, is because if you do not trust yourself and if you do not create an opportunity for yourself, who else is going to create that for you? I feel that the women engineers I first of all hate this word calling women engineer, like you have women filmmakers. I feel that the engineers of tomorrow, which happen to be the women, can create so many different kind of ideas for women per se. This 3 days back, I was cooking in the kitchen, and for me, my cooker was not really working. And in my head, I was thinking that maybe someone out there, some engineer out there, has designed this cooker for a certain kind of a person who's going to be in the kitchen, and mostly it is women. I wonder if a woman had created or designed that pressure cooker, how would that have been? Or if a woman could create a more uh, diversified app, which has now happened, is that women go through periods, and an app which has been created to see your monthly cycle and when is your ovulation period must have been created by a woman. So we need more of those thinkers out there who could create technology, who could create things, who could design new forms of objects which is for women by women. So for me, trust in yourself that you could create more rather than just being a part of many, and the tick mark of being an engineer. For me, it doesn't suffice there. I would love to see more engineers in more hardcore engineering spaces than doing your engineering and then going and doing an MBA and then getting into banks and getting into more corporate jobs. So it is important that we have more engineers who think and create more products and more apps, more of these technology driven stuff, which is for women and by women. My second point is belief that you have created point A, but someone else out there will always have a point of view to tell you that you need to be looking at point B because point A is not correct. I feel the importance of belief in your thoughts, in whatever you create, is more important. So when you know that this is what you want to follow, which is point A, I would follow point A and not listen to the number of voices which will be point B, point C, point D, is because they choose what they want for you, but you need to choose what you want for yourself, which is point A. The other thing which I always feel is very important in all our lives, in whatever kind of profession we are, is the ifs and buts. That if I take up something like this, then what is going to happen? If I do something which is actually a platform for a whole lot of men there, then what is going to happen? The ifs and buts and the art of telling what you think is very, very important. Sheryl Sandberg had gone for a meeting in a place which was very far away, somewhere in the United States, and she wanted to use the washroom before she attended a group full of meeting with men who were in that conference room. So she asked one of them that, could you please guide me to the washroom? And he looked at her and stared at her for some time. And when she went out and she asked one more person, can you tell me where's the washroom? And then there was a voice which came in and said with a lot of guilt, said that there is no washroom for women here because this is a company full of men. She looked for a moment and said that, do I need to do business with these guys who do not respect women, who do not feel that this job is not for women? So that's where the whole identity of ifs and buts and taking decisions come across, is that you need to respect yourself and you need to trust yourself to say that I can do it and there's no one else is going to tell me how I should do it and what I should do. To create that respect not necessarily needs to be in terms of bossing around, but it is also having an equal opportunity in society with the kind of work you do. So you make a point and you say that I need to have an equal opportunity in whatever I do. So therefore, there's no ifs and there's no buts. There is only what you think and what you can do. She took that decision of not taking business forward with them is because they felt that uh, she won't be respected there. A similar case happened to me right now is when I was doing the Panga post in Bangalore, which is a fully ID city. And I went to this post production house, and there was a whole room full of men working on VFX, and it was quite amazing to see a whole lot of back end work happening in our country from across the world, which comes in here. I wanted to use the washroom, and I asked, "Where's the washroom?" And the person very kindly told me that, "Ma'am, we do not have a women's loo out here, but next time when you come, I'll make sure that there is a washroom for you." And I asked him that, yes, I like your work, so maybe I'm not going to like say that I'm not going to work with you, but I do want to know that how do we help you to create more job opportunities for women? So he said that there are a whole lot of computer engineers, there are a whole lot of women who are damn good at VFX, but they do not prefer this job is because we do a lot of late nights. So I told him that what if you do not have late nights for them and you do the shift hours, which is for the morning to the afternoon or afternoon to early evening? Is that possible? He said, yeah, that's a good idea. I feel that accommodating and being as a decision maker to accommodate the best minds, especially for women, to make their workplaces more comfortable is what the leaders of today and tomorrow need to be. Finding equal opportunity for men, but also finding equal opportunity for women to come across and speak their voices. If in a in a in a in a meeting, and if in I'm always called as my husband's wife or a daughter, then my intelligence and my hard work of what I have done for so many years would never be recognized. So it is up to a whole generation and up to a whole society to recognize women for who they are and not for whose daughter or wife or sister they are. Which I feel, I'm not going to take a very long session here, is because we are all in this pandemic, which puts us into a lot of questions to ourselves and doubts, which we think may arise right now on what is it going to be our future like, whether we will be able to pursue what we really need to do, whether we will be in a stage where we will be able to make our parents happy, make our family members happy. I believe that all of us are going with this word called hope. Hope is the only thing which takes us forward. Hope is the seed of hope makes us dream. Hope makes us live today. Hope makes us study what we want to, and hope makes us follow exactly our path. Doesn't matter what tomorrow gets us to. So hope is the word for all of us right now, and hope is the word for you to make a difference in the given choice of field you are in, to not get succumbed with the fact that there are 1,000 people say this is not for you, to not listen to other voices but to your own voice, to say the truth of what you feel is correct, and to be your real self, to be in a house full of men and still say that you have a choice to be here is because you have worked for it and you want to be here and to be respected and spoken about, and to put your thoughts across there that this is what I am here for, this is what I need to do, and this is what I will contribute to my society as an Indian, as a future leader for this country. And in the end, I would want all of you all to think through and say, what kind of tree would you like to be? A tree which blooms enough, which has strong roots and blooms enough, giving so many leaves, because as women, that's what we are. We are the yin and the yang. We are a personality type which when wants cap of a man can think like a man, and when wants to think like a woman, and wants to be passionate, and wants to be motherly like, and there's nothing wrong being that, is when you're the yang. So like the organizer rightly said, we need to suit and put ourselves into a place where we are the yin and the yang. We become uh, both, and that's why Ardhanarishwar was the epitome of a figure where we transformed ourselves according to a situation, giving what is required for a society with love, honesty, and care. I'll be taking questions now. So there are lots of questions here. Shreyas Pantavani says, ma'am, what inspired you to come back in the showbiz industry? Okay, so the showbiz industry does not inspire me at all. As you guys must have seen a whole lot of my post on Instagram or on Twitter, that none of these things excite me. What excites me is the art of storytelling. For me, storytelling is a form of social service. It is a form of ध्यान जो मैं करती हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि I have to be telling more stories for an audience who needs to get empowered or inspired or aspired. So that's what really drags me in from the advertising business I was in, where I was telling stories for 45 seconds to a minute, and I learned so much there. I felt that our country is so much more colorful and inspiring, that it is important that we have a better way to tell stories in 2 hours for this nation. And I also wanted to tell stories which would be for the archives, which would create empathy and which would be remembered for a long time, even after I'm gone. So for me, stories, the films which I make are not projects. When someone tells me they're projects, I feel very bad, is because I put in a lot of effort for telling stories to an audience who wants to remember them, who wants to pick up things which suits them. Maybe it is a boy's character, maybe it's the mother's character, maybe it's the girl's character, but every character should imbibe into their world. And when I inspire them, I feel that it is my social service, it's my contribution to society for a better world. Also, the reason I got into what you said right now is a showbiz business is that when my stories reach an audience and I see a million youngsters who get inspired from my humble upbringing, from wherever I am to what I have been doing today with honesty, I feel that a million other youngsters can think the same way. So for me, it is about inspiring every young boy and girl there to dream and to dream with honesty and to make things happen for themselves with integrity. What is the importance of inculcating the concept of equality amongst young? Sahil Sheikh. Sahil, is a really good question. Thank you so much for asking me this. As storytellers, I feel that that the way I tell stories, I always feel there's a subtler way to incorporate the idea of equality between man and a woman. It starts from home. It starts from me telling my 10-year-old son that he needs to respect his sister, who's also 10 years old, and to tell him that, you know, that she is equal to you. If I'm asking you to help me wash the vessels, it is because I also want you to learn that it is about equal opportunities, it is about equal helping, and it is also about equal contribution. The moment you started at home is when you start reflecting that outside. For the whole lot of people who do not understand, and the hypocrisy which contains in terms of who is bigger than whom, and the boy club, and let's have a discussion when we are having a smoke up there and keep the women aside, and after an afterthought, oh, I needed to tell you this, which happens in a lot of workplaces, cannot be possible. It has to be an integrated system where a woman has to be heard out, and that hearing can only happen when you behave as an equal. A man should behave as an equal. A man cannot be thinking that I am larger than you in terms of my thoughts, my ideas. I am more profound than you, because it is not that. For the longest time, as a society which belongs to a patriarchal society, we feel that function without a man. So, which basically that if I am been thinking, and if I have been talking, or if I have been writing something, it is because the help of a man besides me. That should be taken off. The moment we decide and we realize and we say that it is because of her this happened. So, like in Panga, I always said that, behind every man there is a woman, is because a woman is at home and she takes care of the household, where a man goes out to work, and that's what patriarchy has always said. But what if it happens that behind every woman there is a man? So a woman goes out to work, and that's how equality comes in. It is about equal sharing of responsibility. So when a man starts thinking that way, is when a woman will start moving forward. Why do we still need to talk about women equality? Why do we need to have more and more newspapers talking about that? Why do we need to have women forums? Why do we need to have UN Women sessions? Is because there is still a lot of inequality which happens in households. Maybe not in the metro cities. Maybe our thinking pattern has changed, which is changing for good. But there is still a whole lot of inequality where women are not treated as equals. The day that starts changing from the mind, when more men start talking about it, then women talking for equality, is when there will be change at a grassroots level. What's your first experience while working on your first film project? Was there any nervousness? How was the response of your family? Okay, so I come from a very middle class background. All my family are professors, so they didn't understand that why I'm like getting into filmmaking, and also which is a job dominantly which they had seen like 6 years before was only for men there. So it was very difficult for me to convince them. So also me as a person, when I decide something, I take that decision. I don't hear anyone. So although I understand, I know what they're speaking, but I need to take it because I know what I am going to be doing. And so, like I said before, it is trust in yourself and no ifs and buts, that you need to do what you think is correct. And then that's your journey. If you fail, at least you won't regret that you didn't try. And if you pass, then the world and the sky is the limit. So it is important that that you trust yourself and keep moving forward. Yes, there were difficulties. There were people who would say that, who would not listen to you because they're not used to hearing women giving orders. But then you find a way, and then it becomes a norm, and that's how things work. And that, I think, that's a circle of life, and that's a circle of a society, that the initial change pushed back is because you cannot accept change. For example, this pandemic has made us sit at home, and there's a lot of changes happening at home, is because you are maybe with your sister, with your brothers, or you're staying with your family, you're staying with your husband, and you're staying with your wife, and you do not know how to deal with this because there's something called space which is just gone off. And then you start realizing, okay, this is what is happening, and you start adjusting. And change is all about that. It is about giving equal importance and hearing out the other person, and coexistence. So when a man and a woman in any society coexist, is when great things happen. What inspired you to make a movie like Bareilly Ki Barfi, which was a blockbuster with a unique concept love story, Jay Ravlani? Jay, the reason I made the Bareilly Ki Barfi was because I again wanted to try something different. I didn't want to be tagged myself that after Nil Battey, which was a very social centric film, I wanted to try something totally different, which was a comedy, but at the same time was very rooted. And we had forgotten rootedness for a very long time. We are in a state of conditioning that for the longest time we felt that we when we used to travel outside in a plane, our family would be very happy. When we used to then we got all these online buttons where you click and everything is at home. So pizza se leke pasta tak, everything was at home. And sometimes we forgot that we all have grown up and we are in the story of our lives belongs to the dal chawal. So Bareilly ki Barfi was made for that, for to bring back the memories of all of us who have lived in small towns and have left and gone to the cities to make a mark for ourselves. But at the end of the day, we do want to go back home. We do want to see those open doors. We do want to eat dal chawal, and we do want to talk to our neighbors and our friends. So therefore, getting those little things is what made me make Bareilly ki Barfi with those nuances. And I know a whole lot of people who said that, bachpan yaad dila diya, ya ghar wapas chale gaye, ya kitne din ho gaye terrace pe jaake soke, so those are the kind of things where in the cities do we find open doors? Or I don't know when was the last time. I think when I was really small, I used to go to the terrace and we used to sit there till really long at night, but not otherwise. Yeah. So someone wants a full screen. Okay, I think this looks okay. Sorry, just 1 second. Technology is challenged. My battery is low. Sorry, just 1 second. So I forgot to even charge my MacBook. So that's how technology challenged I am. I just forget that we have to do the other things also. So I'm just looking at the questions. Love the name of your movies. Oh, that is about just brainstorming, and sometimes it just happens. So through the film, I don't think so we ever think of a name of a film before the film is written. It's only after the film is written when you see that, okay, now this looks good. Yeah. What incident in your life really touched your heart? I think this, it's not an incident. I think it is only about the belief in myself that I could. I came from a middle class family. I have studied. I have done everything which all of us do, and I still am. And then dreaming of getting into a business which is not according to social norms, not something which I would be seen in, is what I try to achieve. And today, the most touching thing is that when I see so many youngsters, boys and girls who look up and who send me so many messages on Instagram, on Twitter, to understand different aspects of filmmaking, or to just know that, what, if I can do it, then all of you also can do it. That is something which keeps moving me on, is that I need to empower and I need to uplift as many boys and girls I can, the younger generation of this country, to do more and to dream bigger and to give hope. I think hope is all that is there. Suraj, what's your thought for the mental pressure while some students are also going through this phase? I feel that this pandemic has actually got us into this whole thing of what is going to happen in the future. When we started thinking of the future is when at the present we think, ab kya hoga, kya hone wala hai, exams khatam ho gaye, nahi ho gaye, meri future kaisi hone wali hai. We have to believe in this fact that whatever is going to happen, whatever we do and whatever we put into the universe is always going to happen. So we have to be positive enough to say that there is going to be hope. That hope that I will do my best and leave the rest to God, and it is going to happen. You do not know what's going to happen in the future. There are a whole lot of us also who do not know what's going to happen in the future. So the best part is to make the most out of the situation and learn a new a new subject you always want to do, or catch up a new hobby. These are the things which you will start discovering in this kind of situation. And when you discover this, you will realize, oh, I never knew I was also good at this. Maybe I can change my course now, and maybe I can do something else. So this is what you need to see. You need to see the always a positive side, is because when we didn't have the time, we always used to feel, oh God, I wish we had a little time and we could do something more. Now when we have the time, we are thinking, oh, आगे की सोच सोच के हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि आज क्या करेंगे हम. So just think of it and everything will go off. I also believe in the power of meditation. It is important that all of you all at least spend like 15 minutes with yourself every day meditating, and also talking positive thoughts in your mind, and also putting your intentions out there, saying that this is what I want to do. And that's the art of positive thinking. And hope is a huge word as positivity. Hi, ma'am. I have a question. Aarti, how do you easily deal with a man with dominant profession? Like I said before, also, men and women need to have equal opportunities, and any field which is dominant by men will always have a superpower there. And they would feel a little apprehensive when a woman comes in and joins in, and especially when she becomes the boss. It is important that a lot of men realize that women are equally intelligent and a part of the society and can move forward and make equal demands in with respect to the kind of salaries they get, with respect with the kind of thought, also to not think that they are dumb enough to be out there. They're intelligent enough, therefore they are there. And also for us as women, Aarti, you need to think that you are also equally good enough, and to state a point and not feel scared when you're putting a point across amongst a whole lot of decision makers there. It is important to not keep quiet and to put your point across, to show that you equally care about the project and you equally are there, and therefore you are sitting in this room. So to make your presence felt is very, very important. Um, Thank you so much. That was quite a few questions, and I just leave you guys with a thought of hope and what kind of tree you would like to be. A tree which is withering and which doesn't have any support, or a tree which is blooming and which has so much of strong roots that it can withstand any kind of situation. And that's the kind of tree I would request all of you all to be, and to respect women, to respect the future engineers of this country, and to make and innovate and to create more ideas which can help women. So who can help more women, and men who can help more women, and women who can help more men. And that's how everyone will coexist. Thank you.
We had a good time with you, ma'am. That was an amazing and inspiring talk, I must say. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and time with us. We have learned a lot from you. Thank you for sharing your insights. Now I would like to invite Radha Balki for vote of thanks.
Vaishali Vangekaran, Dean Student Affairs, Nikhil Bhalerao Sir, Faculty Coordinator, Srujan Club members, and all parties.
Hello, Radha. Are you there? You are not audible. Can you just check your mic once again?
Hello.
Yes, Radha.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible now. You can start with it.
Okay. Honorable Director Dr. Mahesh Gowda sir, our most valued invited guest Mrs. Ashwiny Iyer Tiwari ma'am, respected Vaishali Vangekar ma'am, Dean Student Affairs, Nikhil Bhalerao sir, faculty coordinator, Srujan club members, and all the participants. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I am Ms. Radha Balki, executive member of on behalf of Srujan Club and the entire MIT Academy of Engineering, Pune. First of all, I would like to thank our today's distinguished speaker, Mrs. Ashwini Iyer Tiwari ma'am, for gracing the webinar session. Thank you, ma'am, for your very interesting, meaningful, and thought-provoking address. I would like to express our profound gratitude to our director, Dr. Mahesh Gowda sir, for providing the permission to organize such a great event on the occasion of International Women's Day in Engineering. I would like to thank our beloved Dean Student Affairs, Mrs. Vaishali Vangikar ma'am, for her moral support. I would like to thank our faculty coordinator, Mr. Nikhil Bhalerao sir, for this continuous guidance throughout the organization of this event. I am happy to express vote of thanks to our faculty members, all the people who have participated and make this event success. I would like to thank student coordinators for making this webinar a great success. Once again, I thank all for your cordial cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining this session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.